So I wanted to talk about the new adaptation of the Art of Artemis Fowl that's coming out. It's been in the making for well over a decade at this point, and the movie's technically based on the first book, but apparently they're also going to be incorporating aspects of the second book as well, which for me is a little worrying. But at the same time, it is directed by Kenneth Branagh, so I know that not everything he does is amazing, but I personally like for the first Thor movie, and he's done a lot of really good Shakespeare. So also he directed the live-action Cinderella, which I personally like. So I'm tentatively hopeful at this point. Is basically what it boils down to. For those of you who haven't read Artemis Fowl, it's been out since I think the first one came out in 2001 or something like that. And the main character is a 12-year-old Irish child prodigy genius named Artemis Fowl, obviously. And he, when the series starts, is a criminal mastermind. His father's been missing for about 2 years, and he is now in charge of his entire family's fortune, criminal enterprise, whatever you want to call it. But he's still only 12. And he is trying to find out where his father is. So he needs to find money to finance this. And what does he decide to do? He decides that the best way to do this is to kidnap a fairy and hold her for ransom. This is in a regular early 2000s modern world. No one knows fairies exist, and the only reason he does is because he researched it like crazy and dug into everything and found out. He's a bit of an odd character, but I love him because he's so interesting. Like when the first book starts, you find out in the first chapter how ruthless this kid is. That first chapter is a little terrifying. But anyway, the point is the movie is now on the way. It won't be out until next year, but the trailer has been released, and I am getting very excited. For one thing, they cast an age-accurate actor. I think he might be a couple of years older than Artemis, but they didn't cast a 21-year-old, which is what they do a lot of times. So I'm impressed. They actually cast someone close to the right age. He doesn't really have any credits on IMDb, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, especially based on the fact that another of the major actors, she plays Holly. She only, I think, has maybe 2 or 3 credits on IMDb, but based on what I've heard, she also has a lot of experience on the West End in London. So my guess is that's probably what's happened with the actor who plays Artemis as well. Hey guys, I just wanted to add that Kenneth Branagh being the director makes this more likely, as he does do a lot of stage work. And speaking of Holly, one thing that I find kind of interesting, normally they age their actors up, but they've actually done the opposite with Holly. The character is, I believe she's around 80 years old, which is, for a fairy, is about the equivalent of, yes, Holly's a fairy, probably early 20s, I would say. But the actress they cast looks like she's, early teens, preteen. So I'm kind of curious to see where they're going with this. They've also gender swapped at least one character that I know of. Commander Julius Root is being played by Dame Judi Dench. Oh my goodness. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding this. This is kind of how I see it. The reason why there's controversy is because a big deal with Holly is that she was the first captain in her division of the fairy police, the lower elements police, or the first female captain, sorry. And Julius Root is her commanding officer. So making Julius Root a woman kind of takes away that aspect of Holly's character, because it is a big thing for this character that she is the first woman in this group, and she does deal with a lot of sexism as a result. However, from what I've heard, kind of the reasoning behind this is we're not in 2001 anymore, things are different, and I'm gonna have to see how they execute it before I really make a decision on that. But I do see where they're coming from. So we'll see what happens with that, but they cast Judi Dench. I am excited about that regardless. So no matter what happens with the portrayal of gender roles or whatever, Dame Judi Dench is in the Artemis Fowl movies, and I am beyond excited about that. And just beyond that, the actual visuals look beautiful. The depiction of Haven City, which is where the fairies live, is amazing. Even the shots of Fowl Manor look really incredible. I'm so excited about that. And the actor who plays Butler, who is Artemis's bodyguard / butler, yeah, basically, he is an actor that I've seen in other things, and I think he's going to be a really good Butler. I'm quite excited about that. So we'll see how this goes, but right now, fingers crossed, tentatively hopeful, we'll see. Yeah, I'm just glad we actually got a date, because originally it was supposed to come out in like 2 months, but then it ended up getting postponed. But hey, we have a date at least. That's more than some other movies got with the politics surrounding that. But anyway, I will talk to you all later. Thanks, bye.